Well, the Hawks have denied a media report that they are investigating ANC Treasurer General Mkhize and ANC Secretary General Gwede. This is regarding the Deputy Finance Minister Mkhize Jonas's job offer issue. The Sunday Times report claims that the Hawks are now pursuing Jonas, Mantashe and Party Treasurer Mkhize for failing to report to Jonas's sensational claims that AJ Gupta offered him a 600 million rand bribe for the post of Finance Minister. Hawks spokesperson Hangwane Malutsi has rubbished these claims. The story attempts to convey that the Hawks have told the publication that they are probing Jonas, Mantashe and Mkhize, and that all three are under a probe for failing to report Jonas's claims that he was offered that money by Gupta. The story says that the Hawks is awaiting the NPA guidance before taking further action, and that the Hawks and the NPA are now targeting the three as they are anti-Zuma. The story hints that the probe against the three may have Zuma's hand in it, as he indicated in KwaZulu-Natal's rally of the weekend. The Sunday Times claims that a high-ranking security officer cluster has disclosed the plans to target Mkhize and Mantashe, but the Hawks have categorically denied any such move.
Well, we spoke to the Sunday Times yesterday, and the inquiry was based on the Section 34 of the Anti-Corruption Act, and I was only articulating as to what needs to happen if anybody of authority has maybe received any form of bribe or any issues of fraud and corruption. That was the base of our discussions. Now, we were shocked. I was very shocked, in fact, this morning to find that they are now talking about issues of investigation regarding the Deputy Minister, Mr. Mantashe and Mr. Mkhize, something that we never discussed. So, to put it simply, there is no investigation against the three gentlemen. And in terms of what they said, what I know is the fact that they got it from some people in high authority, and who those people are, I'm not even sure. So hence we didn't want to even engage in any matters relating to that. So that report as well, we really don't want to distance ourselves, because it is very, very much irresponsible for anybody to now want to pin, the Hawks together against the Hawks and the Deputy Minister of Finance regarding so-called investigations that are just being willy-nilly, being talked about in the media circuit.
Reporters already stirred a storm, with both Mkhize and Mantashe coming out all guns blazing against any such insinuations. The same report quotes Mantashe as saying, and I quote, "Once state institutions are being used for political space, they're walking into a very complicated space." Mkhize, on the other part, questioned the motive behind such an investigation, saying that he was never part of the incident referred to by Jonas, so any interest involving him would be suspicious and a red herring, unquote. Well, true or not, the claims have already created a storm within the top six of the ANC, and the responses from the top ANC leaders only further help entrench the perception of the Hawks and the NPA being political tools. The question is whether some media are trying to preempt the Hawks and their moves. First, it was the Gordon case, when the Sunday Times had reported that the Hawks were going to arrest Gordon in the SARS rogue unit case. In reality, Gordon was not arrested, only charged for fraud case, but that also not in the rogue unit case. Now, the Sunday Times has reported that the Hawks are probing Jonas, Mantashe and Mkhize, but in reality, the Hawks have denied any probe against the three and have accused the paper of conjuring stories. The issue has been debated on our 8 and 7 weekend prime debate, and analysts had very strong views. Let's take a listen in to some of those soundbites.
Sunday after Sunday, we're seeing our Sunday national papers publishing advertorials masquerading as journalism, and equally publishing hatchet jobs, again under the guise of investigative journalism. And that is very lamentable and appalling.
We have got the SA Press Code, which actually is a very comprehensive regulatory mechanism for the print media. In the same way that we have got that on the electronic side in terms of that organ. The difficulty, I think, is the implementation of that very code, the SA Press Code. And also the other thing also, which is a very big shortcoming of that, is the power. There is no statutory power on the part of the ombudsman, who happens to be paid by the same newspapers. Whoever is appointed as an ombudsman for the media, perhaps for the entire media establishment, should have the power to even close a newspaper, should have the power even to incarcerate people. We don't have that. That's why then we sit with a situation where people misreport and there is no consequence.